A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 1041, WCLE, and MixTV.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to a wonderful night, the biggest night of democracy of a 4-year cycle. We are coming to you on Mix 1041 Radio, also on MixTV.tv from our brand new election studios here at Mix 1041. I'm Steve Hardline, joined as always by Jimmy Logan. Jimmy, good evening.
Good evening, Steve. It's such a heavy responsibility we have tonight, and that is to share information with the community about the most significant races that we will be involved with for a long time, I think. And as you and I talked this morning, Steve, the winner tonight's going to be the approach of the American people tomorrow when we know the result, for us to come together as a united country. It's been, the vitriol needs to go away, Steve. But let's come together as a people and share our views in a way that each of us will be accepting that that's a reasonable approach.
I agree. And of course, Stephen Shelton, who used to be behind the scenes but came out front. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks.
You used to head the decision.
Well, I wasn't sure where you were going with that. I was getting a little anxious here all of a sudden.
I don't know either, but Shelton, what are you, let me say this, what are you looking forward to tonight? Of course, we'll get into our coverage here in a second.
Sure. I think contested races locally really have, Brittany Haynes and Renee Diamond, the city school board seat, District 2 is a good race there. And then, again, the presidential race, of course. We've had Indiana and Kentucky called for former President Trump. We've had Vermont already called for Vice President Harris.
All right, Jimmy, what are you looking forward to tonight?
I am looking forward to that school board seat. As you know, there was some controversy initially about it. We actually called the race because there was not a nominated candidate at that time. Mm-hmm. And so some controversy still is out there expressed by people regarding that issue. But I do think that we've got two folks who are running in that race. The result, I think, is yet unpredictable, even though the party designation issue, which came up at the back in the August elections, I think that's important. So I'm looking for that race. It's so important. That school board seat is a very important seat, as we have seen things occur over the past 9 months in our community, and how they have developed and some of the issues which are out there still for consideration.
All right, so we're on the radio tonight. We are also on MixTV.tv this evening, and we're going to be on, here's our game plan, and that is to bring you our local results, the races that affect Cleveland, Bradley County, this area. We, of course, have State Representative Dan Howell, who has opponent Anna Grabowski. Tonight we have Representative Kevin Raper, who is facing Andrea Chase. Tonight we have Senator Marsha Blackburn facing Gloria Johnson. Tonight Chuck Fleischman facing Jack Allen of McMinn County. So we do have some contested races. We're going to get into those as we go along this evening. So I'll tell you what, let's take a quick break here. We are again on Mix 1041 and on MixTV.tv. As we take a break right here, our coverage tonight is presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. We're also tracking the results on our website at mymix1041.com. We'll be back in a second.
Thank you for calling Logan Thompson. This is Ashley.
Those fries you've been craving. I'm hot and I'm steamy And oh man, do I smell delicious. I'm calling your name. Oh, Doug. Doug. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, paying for these repairs may be tough to swallow. So get Allstate.
Call or visit the George Gray Allstate Insurance Office on Keith Street, 479-5431.
Thank you, Cleveland and Bradley County, for supporting Vendor Realty for the last 55 years. More than ever, we are ready and prepared to help our community be home. The real estate market is changing and evolving, and the Vendor Realty family is ready to help navigate today's market by providing professional, knowledgeable, and resourceful advisors to help your dream of calling someplace home. For all things real estate, be home with Vendor Realty, 425 25th Street, 423-472-2173, vendor-realty.com.
Have you been the victim of drive-by pest control? That's when your pest control company comes to your home with no appointment, treats a little around the outside, and then charges you for it. We know you deserve better. When you do business with us, we will call and set an appointment, we will arrive on time, we will perform a thorough treatment, and if you're not 100% happy, you don't have to pay a penny. So don't put up with drive-by pest control. Call the local guys. We've been serving the greater Chattanooga area since 1970. Call 698-7205 or go to volpest.com.
A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 1041, WCLE, and MixTV.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. Our coverage of election night, this final election night in 2024. We're going to be with you tonight for our local races and what's happening around Cleveland, Bradley County, and the Southeast Tennessee area. Sean, I want to go over to you. You guys have been having some interesting conversation off the air. We try to get a little of it on the air. It'd be nice. And by the way, yes, I do look like the Lord between two thieves. I think all of you agree with that. Anyway, Sean, over to you.
I chose to go with Steve.
Yeah, I'm not sure Lord's the word, but anyways, I was just, Mr. Logan and I were speaking off the air. If either one of the presidential candidates loses, we always look back and everyone's a great Monday morning quarterback. I just wonder if the VP picks will maybe be doubted a little bit. Former President Trump, maybe not picking Nikki Haley as his VP running mate to maybe pull some of the female demographic in for his side of the coin, and then Vice President Harris with Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, just a really overwhelming individual up there that won almost 57% of the vote with over 3 million votes when he ran for governor in Pennsylvania last time. So Jimmy and I were just kind of bumping it off each other.
Sure.
You always kind of go back and look at those things.
We do, and the future of let's talk about some of the Midwestern states where you have some Democrats who appear to have been victorious 2 years ago at least,
Sure.
in some of the Oklahomas and the Colorados, Iowas,
Yes.
and those types of things. The future is unknown, but I think you've hit the nail on the head that folks who were considered for the vice presidential nomination, wouldn't it be fascinating if Shapiro were the Democrat nominee coming up? And Andy Beshear's from Kentucky, almost solid red state,
Sure.
for sure. But Andy Beshear's is so widely respected around the nation by Republicans and Democrats alike. The things he's done in the state of Kentucky have proven to be what Kentuckians want. And he was reelected
Sure.
as
In
a
a state that was
Democrat.
first called.
Yeah.
But for President Trump, former President Trump, Kentucky was the first state called, and to your point, that's a guy that's won it twice now.
Yes.
That says volumes.
So the future, and I know that I'm being too repetitive about this. Actually, Steve, I think the most important thing for us to talk to each other's political parties,
Sure.
and to the political parties together is to try to lessen the vitriol, as I've used that term, the almost hatred, the calling of another person a liar. You are an absolute liar. And some of the other accusations which have been made. My call upon the National Democrat Party and Democrats, isn't it shocking that we had some Democrats who had money out and put signs up in Bradley County? What?
And a billboard.
And a billboard? And in McMinn County, the same. You had a sign up on a billboard asking people to vote by the McMinn County Democrat Party. And that happened, and down the road was a Democrat Party. Now, do I think that the Democrats are going to win anything today in this state? No. But I know people who listened carefully to Gloria Johnson's positions on issues. And do I think that she's going to win the Senate race? No. But I think that we may see some of that lessening. I don't like you. You're bald-headed. And I don't think bald-headed people ought to do something just because they don't like you and I. And
Sure.
you and I get along fabulously well.
Absolutely.
We can make decisions together, though I claim to be a liberal. What? What about this Christ story? We love one another. Take a vow of poverty to the extent necessary to provide for the needs of those who are less fortunate. What? And don't we all like to proclaim our adherence to the Christian faith? Steve, Jimmy Logan's out of touch with reality.
It is a election night. We are certainly glad that you're tuned in this evening. Polls close at 8 o'clock in Bradley County. If you've not voted yet, you still have time to vote. At the 17 Bradley County precincts, if you're in line to vote at 8 o'clock, you will be allowed to vote. And we're going to start, we anticipate to get the early numbers in just after 8 o'clock, somewhere in that vicinity. And as we know, the early numbers tell a big part of the story as far as elections go, especially here locally. So that's where we are. About 8 o'clock, we will again have the polls closing at the 17 Bradley County precincts.
And I do think that school board race is one which may well be decided in the difference of the vote between now and 8. Folks, you can make a difference in a very, very important race. I think that would be deemed to be potentially a close vote with a great deal of respect. So go cast your vote. I just left E.L. Ross, the largest voting precinct that we have in Bradley County, and there was a steady stream of people, not overcrowded, but coming in as I was there for about 10 or 15 minutes, and just a steady stream and people voting. Steve, one thing that we oftentimes overlook to say, and Steve Sheldon, you're very familiar with this, the precinct leader typically has to go to the site at 6 o'clock this morning to make sure that the mats at the wrestling center or at various other locations, the elementary schools where the students have been, but yet they changed their, but precinct workers who provide us with what's told to us by our Secretary of State, that our state is ranked number 1 in election integrity. And a large part of the reason for that is because the people of Bradley County, the people of every county in this state, take this seriously, and they donate their time. Steve, they're paid a little sum of money, but that precinct chairperson, gadzooks, they've been there since 6 o'clock this morning, except that they went down and picked up the things to bring back and then open it up, and there was a line outside of almost every precinct this morning for people to come in to vote. It took about an hour and a half at Cleveland High School to get caught up, and then a pretty steady little stream, not a big, it wasn't a gully washer as the saying goes, but there was a stream of people who went in to vote. Some people say that the only vote to cast is one on election day because you're not fully informed of everything that's going to happen. There were 3 doctors and their wives who met at Cleveland High School this morning and were in line at 8 o'clock. How about that?
We're just now getting some first results in from Georgia, and I think Austin has got a graph up from the state of Georgia, this state has been split the last 2 election cycles, and you can see here Georgia has been so tight. Back in 2016, President Trump won 2,089,000 votes to Secretary of State Clinton's 1,877,000. So around 130,000 vote different there. And then last year in Georgia, when we look at, last election cycle in Georgia, when President Biden won that state, 2.4 million to 2.4 million, a 10,000 vote different in the
11,000 according to President Trump. 11,000.
11,000.
And how many hundred votes that he needed?
So we're just and this race is so close, and you can see the other states here.
Yes.
Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona. As we go down through there, Pennsylvania, I believe they call it the Keystone State. I think it's going to be the key to this election tonight for president. You can see in 2016, 2.9 million for former President Trump, and 2.926 million for former Secretary of State Clinton. Again, we're talking about 60,000 vote different in Pennsylvania in 2016, and then 2020, President Biden, 3.45 million to 3.378 million. These 2 states have just been so close the last 2 election cycles that I think it's really fascinating. I'm going to use Jimmy's word, fascinating to see how these what I see kind of the swing states here have turned out. And if you can see the bar there, 50% is the middle. I mean, these states are right there on that 50% line.
And the prediction for this year is they will be once again, of course, nationally. Looking at those states plus about 3 more that could decide this, or probably will decide this 2024 presidential election. Again, polls close at 8 o'clock in Bradley County tonight. You're encouraged to get out and vote if you've not voted yet. Let's take another break right here. It's our election night coverage on Mix 104.1, also on MixTV.tv. As we'll also have Fox News tonight on the hour. And then when we're done with our local stuff this evening, we'll go to Fox News throughout the night on Mix 104.1. Let's take a quick break. Our coverage tonight from our new election headquarters here, Election Central, back in a moment.
Love supporting local? Then you'll love shopping with Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland, your hometown dealer. We're happy to be part of this community and proud to serve you with a better way to buy and service. Plus, during the It's a Season sales event, you can drive a new Ram 1500 for 1.9% financing, and we'll deliver yours to your door. Visit your hometown dealer today. Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland, the better way to buy and service.
Sun Paper, conveniently located in historic downtown Cleveland, a local family-owned business specializing in restaurant hospitality and janitorial supplies. They carry tons of items for your restaurant, food truck, school, coffee shop, church, or office. Sun Paper also has items for your home, including disposable plates, cups, and cutlery at very competitive prices. New this year, they brought in a full line of premium chef knives. Follow Sun Paper on Facebook for a chance to win a 7-piece chef knife set with case. No purchase necessary. Sun Paper, 393 Broad Street, downtown Cleveland, open to the public and delivery available.
Choices matter. Please buckle up, put your phone down, and drive sober. Join the movement, the 24/7 movement, and help us create positive change.
Our legal system is complex, and your case may impact several areas of the law. Don't just hire a lawyer who focuses on one thing. Hire a team of experienced attorneys ready to handle your case wherever it may lead. Call Logan Thompson, one of the area's most respected law firms. From personal injury to criminal and family law, from contract disputes to disability, the team at Logan Thompson will work together to ensure you are well represented and well compensated. Logan Thompson, we fight to win.
A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 104.1, WCLE, and MixTV.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. Welcome back, everyone. Election night coverage here tonight on Mix 1041. We're on MixTV.tv as we say good evening to you as we're now at 21 minutes after 7. We are here, of course, presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. Visit LoganThompsonLaw.com and visit our website. We have a brand new redesigned website, MyMix1041.com. We're tracking the results. Got a lot of help here tonight helping us out all over the building. We're waiting on the polls to close in Bradley County at 8 o'clock this evening, and we anticipate early voting will come in just after that. I want to talk about some of these individual races, Shelton, and I want to begin with Dan Howell's race. Representative Howell, who joined us last week, came in. He talked about his race. He's facing a lady, a former teacher named Anna Grabowski, who we've met, and very nice lady. And talk about that race for a second.
Well, actually, this is the second time they faced off. Back in 2016, Ms. Grabowski also challenged Representative Howell. Representative Howell got about 85% of the vote then. Representative Howells went over, when he first ran, he defeated now Senator Adam Lowe for that seat. He's went over now. He's the chairman of the Transportation Committee. I think Representative Howell's going to do well in this race. Nothing against his opponent. She I thought run a fine race, but it's hard when you're going up against an incumbent that is as well thought of as Representative Howell is, coming from Nashville. As Jimmy can say, there's a lot of influence that follows across White Oak Mountain and into Bradley County if you do a good job over in Nashville.
Well, those of us who, I know that Steve knows, I spend at least one day and sometimes 2 days during the legislative sessions as I go over and talk to legislators about issues which affect us. Dan Howell is as highly respected. He's as considerate of every Democrat as he is every Republican. And that's the kind of person Dan Howell is. Longevity and term of service makes a big difference in the power that you have because you develop a relationship with your fellow legislators, and almost more importantly, it's shocking, is your relationship with the commissioners under the then governor. And that deputy commissioner may have been there when some other party's governor had named a commissioner, but the deputy commissioner stays. Those are administrative positions, certainly policy and those things, but the administrative positions, Dan Howell knows those deputy commissioners, and certainly I'm sure he knows many of the commissioners, but it's working through those deputy commissioners and those area headquarters for the Department of Transportation down in Chattanooga. It's the guy who's running the show in Chattanooga who is important to know, and Dan Howell knows those people. That counts. Experience of trusting each other and performing your duties and responsibilities. Dan Howell's got it.
And Jimmy, you said the word, and it's the word in so many things, not just politics, but relationships. And that is so important. You've been having those relationships all these years, and it just matters when it comes down to brass tacks.
No question about it, and I've told you the story about family members. When Tommy Hahn, you're too young to know about this, when Mayor Rowland said that he wanted to put the airport in, and it was going to be on a part of the Moore property. And Tommy Hahn, a state senator from Greenville, was born here, and his first few years, formative years, were right here in Bradley County on the Moore farm. So Tommy Hahn gets elected to the state senate. He retains a membership, honorary membership, with the West Tennessee Democrat Caucus. Shelton, that happened. There was a state representative who was defeated by Mike Bell when he ran, and that state representative was a Republican who was an honorary member of the West Tennessee Democrat Caucus. Now, in those days, the politics really didn't matter. It was your integrity, your reliability, and being able to work together to come up with something that would be successful for our state, like the Summer Olympics.
That's right. We're going
to... the water portion.
Yes, well, that's true. We're going to take another break right here. Again, we are heading to the half hour pretty quickly. 7:26. Polls will close at 8 o'clock in Bradley County at the 17 Bradley County precincts. Don't forget, if you're in line, you will be allowed to vote even at 8 o'clock. So it's been a long day, I know, for those poll workers. As Jimmy mentioned earlier, we've had high schoolers. We have high schoolers at every precinct helping out. That was allowed by the state a few years ago, which I think is wonderful. And so it's been a wonderful day. We understand, but not heard of any problems much, that is. And so I'm going to be interested to see about election day turnout. Just over 37,000 voted early in Bradley County. And so we'll be interested to see how many people voted today. All right, when we come back, we'll take another 2-minute break right here. Mix 104.1 Radio, MixTV.tv. We're going to spotlight some other races that we have in our area, in this community, coming up in just a moment. Stand by.
Cleveland Tire is ready to help your auto any way it can. We're one of the largest providers of Goodyear brand tires in the area. We sell all major brand tires. We have ASE certified mechanics on staff 6 days a week. We also have a commercial truck tire center that provides 24-hour roadside service and minor mechanical repairs on site. We have built our reputation on years of quality, affordable work and tires. We pride ourselves in customer satisfaction and great service. Cleveland Tire Center.
Imagine a truck that doesn't just own the road, it dominates it. It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. And our new GMC Sierra is elevating every moment of that journey for me. It's not just a truck, it's a lifestyle. Don Ledford didn't just sell me a truck. They saw the lifestyle I wanted and they found me that truck.
For more than 50 years, Cleveland Plywood Company has been serving our community. They're dedicating to providing quality products with professional service to all of Cleveland and our surrounding area. They offer easy pickup or delivery on everything in stock. Cleveland Plywood carries every element of the building process, including windows, doors, truss, flooring materials, shingles, and of course, building lumber. Stop by and visit them. Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street, Northeast in Cleveland, or call 472-3357.
Thank you for calling Logan Thompson. This is Ashley.
How's those fries you've been craving? I'm hot, and I'm steamy, and oh man, do I smell delicious. I'm calling your name. Oh, Doug. Doug. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, paying for these repairs may be tough to swallow. So get Allstate.
Call or visit the George Gray Allstate Insurance Office on Keith Street, 479-5431.
A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 104.1, WCLE, and MixTV.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. It's election night, November 2024, as we say. Good evening to all of you, along with Jimmy Logan, Stephen Shelton, Steve Hartline with you. We've got a cast of a lot of people helping out tonight on Mix 104.1, MixTV.tv. Our coverage presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. We do want to give you a couple of ways in which you can follow along tonight. Of course, here, if you're watching us or you're listening to us this evening, or you can go to our website. We've got it tracking there as far as the local efforts are concerned, the races are concerned, mymix1041.com. Download the free Mix 104.1 app from our website, and you can track things very easily there. We're spotlighting some of the races as we head toward 8 o'clock. Of course, in Bradley County, in the eastern part of Tennessee, the polls close at 8 o'clock. Eastern Time. And so we're counting down to that. We feel like if it has history as a judge, especially last several times, early voting will come in pretty quick after 8 o'clock. Jimmy Logan, I want to talk about that 24th district. State Representative Kevin Raper, who is being challenged by Andrea Chase. Ms. Chase has the Solomon Family Solutions. Of course, Kevin Raper has had one term. He's trying to get a second one here.
Yes, and everybody knows something about the Tennessee Volunteers, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
And what are Kevin Raper's children's names?
Shelton, I'll let you handle that.
Neeland and Manning.
Neeland and Manning. Have you ever seen Kevin at First Baptist Church shaking hands with everyone who comes and goes for 3 services? And he always has an orange tie on. Is that accurate?
It's pretty close. Something orange on.
Now, does that have any impact on people's perspective of Kevin Raper as being just a heck of a nice fellow, married to a beautiful, intelligent woman from the Bryant family? Now, would you like for me to give you the historical background of the opponent? No, you would not. But irrespective of that, it was great, Steve, and you were there at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And you will remember that that woman made a very intelligent, a very thoughtful presentation.
She did.
She was just remarkable. And then we have the issues that some would say that we shouldn't address. But the Solomon Solutions issue is now before the federal court to some extent. There are fascinating aspects of that. You want the prospective results? 75 to 80% for the Republican Kevin Raper, maybe even higher than that. But it is astonishing that we had somebody who was willing to come forward and run as a Democrat, as they used to do in our community.
That's right.
State Representative Steve Bivens? What? How about that? We've had great contributions by people from each party over the years. Ben Longley was a state senator, state representative, then a state senator, admired by everyone. And when he passed from this earth, what did the Democrats do? They named the Senate, one of the Senate chambers, the Ben Longley Conference Room. It's huge, and it's very well done. Ben Longley was a tremendous state senator. We've had great people from both parties in the state Senate and the state House over the years, but we've become a pretty divided country.
We have. Shelton, let's talk about that race again. Raper and Andrea Chase.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's Kevin's clothing more than his son's that probably help him out. But no, he's known over in Nashville as the peacemaker. I've heard more than one individual over there describe him as the peacemaker. So I think that's what you're going to see here. Again, as we talked about Representative Howell, it's hard to beat an incumbent that is well thought of in Nashville, and so there's a lot of financial aid and other resources that are brought over from Nashville into this area to help out with those campaigns. And I think that's, Andrea's done a great job. Her signs are everywhere. Just not this cycle, I don't believe. Back to the presidential news and a Senate update, West Virginia has went to former President Trump, and Jim Justice has flipped the West Virginia Senate seat by defeating willing Mayor Glenn Elliott. And that's kind of an upset. Glenn Elliott was thought of to probably win that in a lot of people's eyes, and he's done a great job in Wheeling. But Jim Justice will flip that West Virginia Senate seat.
Interesting. All right, so we are monitoring with Fox World and National News. We are monitoring what is happening. We'll do that again at the top of the hour, 7:36. Going to take another break for our stations right now, Mix 104.1 and on MixTV.tv as we bring you live coverage here at 8 o'clock. We do expect very soon after that to have the early vote from Bradley County, where about 47% of our electorate voted early. And we'll see how a lot of people wonder, how did we do today? Well, we're about to find out here not too long from now. And then we've talked about a couple of the races. We're going to talk about a couple of more as we go along this evening here. This is basically our pregame hour. We do this every year just to get you set and ready to go for what's to come tonight. Of course, it's every 4 years. This night, we do our thing here locally. And then we send you off to the national stuff that I know everybody's also checking this evening. So thank you for making it. Even Jerome Hammond's watching, Jimmy. Anything you want to say to Jerome Hammond? He just texted me. He said that's the 8 team right there.
Jerome Hammonds would add a flavor of humor to our program tonight. I wish he would have come on out. I really wish he had brought his wife and he'd stayed at home.
She did that centenary Halloween flash mob. I guess you heard about that on Halloween night that everybody's still talking about there on Centenary. I couldn't believe she did it. Didn't she get any merits from her dad at Lee? That's unbelievable. Anyway.
Well, Jerome and his wonderful, wonderful wife have done so much for our community, Steve.
Well, Vanessa has.
Vanessa has done great things. And you have enjoyed Jerome coming out and visiting with us. Not one time.
Well, he knocked me over.
He'll be here again tomorrow morning, I can promise you that.
We'll take a quick break. Hello, Jerome. Hey, thanks to everybody who's looking in tonight. We're getting a lot of messages. We appreciate that. And we'll come back. Let's take 2 minutes. Ryan Felton's running our radio operation tonight. And we got Austin, Gideon. We got Josh here. Madison's back there. Ashland's here. Fresh from the homecoming court at Lee University. Ashland Akiona. And, of course, the man himself, Josh Rogers, is somewhere lurking back there, and he's coming in, threatening us and all of that. So, and Shelton, breaking news. College football playoff rankings are out for the first time this season.
They are. We'll break those down after the break here. I'm still trying to digest a little bit of that. Tennessee's ranked 7th. Right now, but
Georgia's 3. Rogers told us.
Still a lot to go.
Who's number 1? Do we know?
I believe Oregon is number 1.
Oregon's still 1.
So a lot left to go here.
It's a big night.
Yeah,
it is a big night.
Back in 2 minutes.
Thank you, Cleveland and Bradley County, for supporting Bender Realty for the last 55 years. More than ever, we are ready and prepared to help our community be home. The real estate market is changing and evolving, and the Bender Realty family is ready to help navigate today's market by providing professional, knowledgeable, and resourceful advisors to help your dream of calling someplace home. For all things real estate, be home with Bender Realty, 425 25th Street, 423-472-2173, bender-realty.com.
Volunteer Rid-A-Pest makes it easy to have a pest-free home with their risk-free money-back guarantee. If you've seen one, you haven't seen them all. Let Volunteer Rid-A-Pest handle it, the best in the industry. Call Chattanooga's oldest and family-owned full-service pest control company today.
Love supporting local? Then you'll love shopping with Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland, your hometown dealer. We're happy to be part of this community and proud to serve you with a better way to buy and service. Plus, during the It's a Season sales event, you can drive a new Ram 1500 for 1.9% financing, and we'll deliver yours to your door. Visit your hometown dealer today, Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland, the better way to buy and service.
Sun Paper, conveniently located in historic downtown Cleveland, a local family-owned business specializing in restaurant hospitality and janitorial supplies. They carry tons of items for your restaurant, food truck, school, coffee shop, church, or office. Sun Paper also has items for your home, including disposable plates, cups, and cutlery at very competitive prices. New this year, they brought in a full line of premium chef knives. Follow Sun Paper on Facebook for a chance to win a 7-piece chef knife set with case. No purchase necessary. Sun Paper, 393 Broad Street, downtown Cleveland, open to the public and delivery available.
Choices matter. Please buckle up, put your phone down, and drive sober. Join the movement, the 24/7 movement, and help us create positive change.
A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 104.1, WCLE, and MixTV.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. Everyone, it is the November election night. Normally, well, let me tell you where you're listening and watching. Mix 104.1, MixTV.tv. and we are in our new election studio here, and so I think it looks pretty nice. A little red, a little blue, a little screen back here, a little boy blue. Here we go.
Yeah, and we moved the coffee machine away so that we wouldn't have to
we wouldn't have to
use any of Steve's cups. But I'm going to get up, Steve, and go get us a cup of coffee. Would you like one?
No, I'm fine.
All right.
I'll probably swig some about midnight tonight. Try to stay awake for all that's happening. Hey, I do want to talk though. So normally, in a November presidential election, it's federal and it's state general elections. But tonight, Jimmy, we have a Cleveland Board of Education race in the 2nd District, which is the university and the museum. But we had a very interesting situation. And tonight, we have Renee Diamond and we have Brittany Haynes.
We do. And Steve, Shelton, you as well will remember when we were calling out the numbers and who won that race at the scheduled date for that race. We called out the name of an independent candidate. And subsequently, there was some discussion, and I don't remember specifically what it was, and we had Diamond added to this election to fulfill that. I don't remember the controversy, actually.
It was, well, you had 45 total votes last time around, and they were all write-in votes, basically. But then Brittany ran. She tried to, when she didn't receive enough votes to be placed into office, she tried to then run as a Republican. There was a meeting with the Republican chairs, and they decided, due to her lack of voting record, wasn't a voting record. It was a lack of voting record. They would not permit her to run as a Republican. And then one of the individuals, Mark Hall, his fiance, was allowed to then run as the Republican replacement, Renee Diamond. I think both these individuals have run a really hard race for a very small area, if you think about it.
No question.
A very small Lee University and the museum. That's just a very small area. And so for everything you've seen, whether it's on mixed radio or whether it's on mixed TV, signage around town, you would think it was a much larger area. But both have run, and it'd be fascinating as an independent, because you've had, Jonathan Cantrell, the former Republican chair, has come out, endorsed Brittany Haynes. You've had higher ups in the Church of God has come out and endorsed Brittany Haynes. It's been just a fascinating thing that a lot of Republicans.
What have they determined the issues to be as the present school board and the present school board policy? Have you heard anything addressing those specific issues? I think that I know that Ms. Haynes has an answer to those questions.
I listened to her this morning with an interview with Steve, and she had a lot of solid answers and ideas. And you've got a lifetime educator with Renee, and I think she's highly thought of. She's on the Lee staff. And then you've got a former educator who has children inside the city school system right now. So you kind of got two worlds colliding there. And just interesting how this one's going to shake out. Just as an independent, just running as an independent in this, and just trying to grab every little vote in this District 2 is going to be really, really interesting.
It's going to be fascinating. But again, I have not identified what it is that one or the other would say, I think differently on this issue. I do think that the policy of all of our children who now are caught smoking and being terminated for a year, but the discretion existing with the director of schools under the policy, that he can make changes with reference to that solid black and white policy that we now have. It's fascinating, Steve. You youngsters amaze me.
Wow.
If you didn't wear a knife as a boy at Bradley High School in your pocket, you were not fully dressed.
Yeah.
And some of the guys who were students had trucks parked in the parking lot with a long gun on it.
Especially in deer season.
And especially in deer season. It's a different world.
Yeah.
If you have a spoon, what?
Yeah.
That's a weapon if it wasn't issued in accordance with the policy of plastic. What? Mm-hmm. What a different world we have come to accept and mandate. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure, Steve, that when parents think back about those things, that those are issues that we probably ought to rethink. Should we start saying it's okay to smoke marijuana vapes? Why in the world are parents letting their kids vape? What? Now, I used to smoke when I was a youngster, but it was rabbit tobacco. On Harlan Painter's, what became his home years thereafter. But it's a different community and a different society we have today. And I don't know what we can do or should do necessarily to change that system.
I think one thing the Cleveland Board of Education is interested in is the strategic plan that they are going to try to put together by the month of March, is what they came in here and talked about. And they're going to start these listening sessions and that sort of thing in the next few weeks, I think, maybe the next couple of weeks. So I know that's one thing they're working on. Shelton?
Very quickly, we were talking about Kentucky being a red state, but with a blue governor. We're now seeing North Carolina has elected Democratic Governor Josh Stein to serve as governor. He won overwhelmingly. They've already called.
His opponent had some issues.
That was a few issues. But another thing is Vermont has elected Governor Phil Scott, Republican. And this is very, very fascinating that these traditional blue states and red states are electing governors from a different party. It's hard to judge right now how this presidential election is going if you're trying to base it on down ballot seats.
That's true.
It is, but it looks like that the Senate changes we've seen and seem to be developing. The United States Senate, I do think that it is likely that the Republicans will be successful in attaining a majority vote in the United States Senate. That's powerful.
With a new leader, as McConnell steps down. And,
yes.
Hey, let me tell you what. Let's get into one more race here. Then we're going to take a break. We're about now 10 minutes, 11 minutes till the top of the hour. And we remind you that 8 o'clock the polls will close in Bradley County and in the eastern part of the state. So we are looking ahead. They're looking forward to early voting numbers. Again, here in Bradley County, just over 37,000 voted early, about 47%. I tell you what, Shelton, I want to talk about Chuck Fleischman being challenged by Jack Allen, who we've gotten to know a little bit. Very, very nice man, I will say. And he's gotten out. He said, hey, I wanted to run. I wanted to do something. What do you make of that race?
Well, you've got to start somewhere if you're Jack Allen. The problem you're going to run into with anyone running against Chuck is his war chest is so large. It's incredible the amount of funds and resources he has. He started, Jimmy, when he first ran, he put $600,000 of his own money into that but it is well more than that at this point. So again, hats off to anyone that decides they want to run for public office. That's one of the most thankless things you can do. Either you're a hero or a zero in the eyes of the public. There are no neutral people in politics, unfortunately, in today's time. But I think when you look at that, again, I think, as Jimmy said earlier, the Republican Party still has a stronghold statewide. If you in entire states, there are different demographics or counties that are starting to become more Democratic or more balanced. But in this race, again, when you have someone that has the type of resources, it is just so difficult to get your message over them.
Steve, I can tell you that my relationship with the present congressman is one where he shares votes and positions and information. Chuck Fleischman knows more about nuclear energy, fusion and fission, than I think anybody else in Washington. He's studied it. He believes that we've got to have alternative sources of energy. Water issues are incredible, and to use those water issues as a major source of our power when our power grid has to grow. And I think that Chuck Flashman is probably a leader in Congress on that issue. There's no question in my mind. I've talked with him about it. Now, Jack Allen, I've known him for years. Out of McMinn County, he's as widely respected a finance man as there is in southeast Tennessee and possibly across the state. And I know that he has a great deal of influence in Georgia and respect for his finance. But it's not the place where it'll be interesting to see how he does in McMinn County. I'd like to get that issue to see how he's doing in his home county. But when he lost his wife, and he said, I've got to do something to contribute to society and to our area, and I'm going to run for Congress. What? Jack Allen, great man, but he's got an uphill battle to do anything with Chuck Flashman.
I think a lot of him have really gotten to know him and like him. All right, so we are going to take another break here. Let's take 2 minutes, another 2-minute timeout on Mix 1041, MixTV.tv tonight from our Election Central here at Mix 1041, MixTV.tv, and we'll come back with more in just a moment. Election night, November 2024.
Our legal system is complex, and your case may impact several areas of the law. Don't just hire a lawyer who focuses on one thing. Hire a team of experienced attorneys ready to handle your case wherever it may lead. Call Logan Thompson, one of the area's most respected law firms. From personal injury to criminal and family law, from contract disputes to disability, the team at Logan Thompson will work together to ensure you are well represented and well compensated. Logan Thompson, we fight to win.
Cleveland Tire is ready to help your auto any way it can. We're one of the largest providers of Goodyear brand tires in the area. We sell all major brand tires. We have ASE certified mechanics on staff 6 days a week. We also have a commercial truck tire center that provides 24-hour roadside service and minor mechanical repairs on site. We have built our reputation on years of quality, affordable work and tires. We pride ourselves in customer satisfaction and great service. Cleveland Tire Center.
Imagine a truck that doesn't just own the road, it dominates it. It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. And our new GMC Sierra is elevating every moment of that journey for me. It's not just a truck, it's a lifestyle. Don Ledford didn't just sell me a truck. They saw the lifestyle I wanted and they found me that truck.
For more than 50 years, Cleveland Plywood Company has been serving our community. They're dedicating to providing quality products with professional service to all of Cleveland and our surrounding area. They offer easy pickup or delivery on everything in stock. Cleveland Plywood carries every element of the building process, including windows, doors, truss, flooring materials, shingles, and of course, building lumber. Stop by and visit them. Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street, Northeast in Cleveland, or call 472-3357.
Thank you for calling Logan Thompson. This is Ashley.
I'm those fries you've been craving. I'm hot, and I'm steamy, and oh man, do I smell delicious. I'm calling your name. Oh, Doug. Doug. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, paying for these repairs may be tough to swallow. So get Allstate.
Call or visit the George Gray Allstate Insurance Office on Keith Street, 479-5431.
A 65-year tradition, election night coverage. on Mix 1041, WCLE, and MixTV.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. And welcome back. We are getting close to the 8 o'clock hour, a big hour, which promises to have some results for us, along with Stephen Shelton, Jimmy Logan, and a cast of thousands behind the scenes we really appreciate. We're live at our election central headquarters tonight. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're focused on the local aspect of all of this, local and regional aspect. And one of those, Shelton, is Senator Marsha Blackburn. She's on the Bradley County ballot, obviously. United States Senator on the ballot against Gloria Johnson, who had a lot of notoriety as a state representative.
Yeah, and again, same thing we can talk about with Chuck. It's the war chest is so big, and Marsha, Marsha is, a lot of people don't know this, that's moved to Tennessee. Marsha was the really the original fighter or opponent against a state income tax.
That's right.
And so she, what she's done here in Tennessee has just been really fascinating with her national coverage of national media, whether it's CNN or Fox, and to have, to be selected out of all those senators in Washington to be able to do that, it just gives her the notoriety and the name recognition from Memphis to Johnson City. It's just so hard to overcome that.
That certainly is, and she's expected to be called as soon as so the Tennessee polls will close at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and so again we expect a call for the volunteer state to come close to that. So we will we're going to follow that. That's really now in about 2 minutes. So we're about 2 minutes away from that. What else?
I really think that. I think Mr. Logan was, alluded to it earlier. I think a lot of these races locally are going to be called very quickly. I think the one we're going to wait on here is going to be the city school race, District 2 between Renee Diamond and Brittany Haynes. So I think once that one's done, you said you're going to your basement to watch the rest.
I'll be gone. Yeah.
So you're out of here.
I think Jennifer asked me sleeping here at the office. I'll be back. Back. I can't believe Jimmy knows how to make that coffee. That's pretty good.
It was fast too.
Pretty good.
It took about an hour to get the heat on.
Well, I know that's the problem. So we are about, and what we'll do here on the hour, we will we'll send you to Fox World and National News on radio, and so we'll get an update. We're seeing the national stuff rolling in here, Shelton.
Sure, it really is. And to go back, North Carolina has now closed. We're getting just trickles of information in on it. If you're keeping up, West Virginia has flipped a Senate seat to the Republican Party. North Carolina has elected a Democratic governor, and Vermont has elected a Republican governor. So anybody's guess is as good as anyone's at this point, because these are just these states that we believe could fall to the opposite party from a presidential standpoint is now falling to the opposite party down the ballot. It's something that is unfolding here, and national news is all over it about how these are now just kind of really making the presidential races even more interesting, having to be able to now 17 states are now polls have closed in 17 different states at 8 o'clock.
It is 8 p.m. We're going to take a break. Mix 1041 Radio will send you to Fox World and National News. For MixTV.tv, let's take a 2-minute timeout, as we've now going to have 17 states closing right now, including Tennessee.
Which 177 electoral votes will come from these 17 states.
All right. We're going to take a break here. Mix 1041, MixTV.tv. Back in a moment.
This is Mix 1041 WCLE, Calhoun, Cleveland, Athens. Download the free Mix 1041 app at mymix1041.com.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Jill Nato. Election Day 2024 and some presidential race results are in. Fox News can project former President Trump takes Indiana and West Virginia. Vice President Harris wins Vermont. A few more hours to go before all the polls close. Let's head over to Fox's Mike Tobin in the battleground state of Wisconsin.
When the polls close, the in-person votes should be totaled up rather quickly. The absentee votes, however, will take a little bit longer because they can't be totaled up until the in-person voting is done. So anticipating that we'll get some new numbers around 1 to 2 a.m. that caused a lot of controversy back in 2020 because in the middle of the night the numbers change, but that is part of the process. Anticipate that will happen again.
More than 80 million people are believed to have voted early. This has been a Fox News Alert.
Thank you, Cleveland and Bradley County, for supporting Vendor Realty for the last 55 years. More than ever, we are ready and prepared to help our community be home. The real estate market is changing and evolving, and the Vendor Realty family is ready to help navigate today's market by providing professional, knowledgeable, and resourceful advisors to help your dream of calling someplace home. For all things real estate, be home with Vendor Realty, 425 25th Street, 423-472-2173, vendor-realty.com.
Have you been the victim of drive-by pest control? That's when your pest control company comes to your home with no appointment, treats a little around the outside, and then charges you for it. We know you deserve better. When you do business with us, we will call and set an appointment. We will arrive on time. We will perform a thorough treatment, and if you're not 100% happy, you don't have to pay a penny. So don't put up with drive-by pest control. Call the local guys. We've been serving the greater Chattanooga area since 1970. Call 698-7205 or go to volpest.com.
Love supporting local? Then you'll love shopping with Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland, your hometown dealer. We're happy to be part of this community and proud to serve you with the better way to buy and service. Plus, during the It's a Season sales event, you can drive a new Ram 1500 for 1.9% financing and we'll deliver yours to your door. Visit your hometown dealer today, Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland, the better way to buy and service.
Sun Paper, conveniently located in historic downtown Cleveland, a local family-owned business specializing in restaurant, hospitality, and janitorial supplies. They carry tons of items for your restaurant, food truck, school, coffee shop, church, or office. Sun Paper also has items for your home, including disposable plates, cups, and cutlery at very competitive prices. New this year, they brought in a full line of premium chef knives. Follow Sun Paper on Facebook for a chance to win a 7-piece chef knife set with case. No purchase necessary. Sun Paper, 393 Broad Street, downtown Cleveland, open to the public and delivery available. A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 104.1, WCLE, and MixTV.tv, presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. And we are beginning to get some calls here in as far as statewide, and we are the Associated Press is making some calls here, and I understand that they're calling it for who, Shelton?
They have called it for Marsha Blackburn. Ms. Blackburn will remain in her seat, and it looks like they have called it for Donald Trump for Tennessee. This is Tennessee only. Let's not take it and run with it. Tennessee only. So right now President Trump has won Tennessee. Also, just an update, some of the other states have just come in. Florida has went to President Trump. Maine has went from Vice President Harris. Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Missouri have all gone for former President Trump.
All right, so that just in, and really no surprises in that batch that you just talked about. Now, Vice President Harris has just won New Jersey. We understand there was a little bit of talk about that, but she has claimed New Jersey. But here in Tennessee, Jimmy, really no surprises at all there.
Not as to the result, and Steve, you may recall that we've been told that we don't smile enough here, Shelton. There you go. Now, thank you very much. How about that?
Yes.
Welcome to Bradley County, Tennessee.
I rub off on people.
But I'm interested in the percentage of votes with respect to the Marsha Blackburn, Gloria Johnson race. Gloria Johnson came to Bradley County, had a fundraiser here, and it was shocking, Shelton. They raised approximately $20,000 for a Democrat nominee. In Bradley County, you've got to be kidding me. But
Yeah.
it happened. Gloria Johnson's a fascinating woman. And when you saw, I don't know if you saw the photographs of her home, she's been a school teacher and a legislator, and that's been her goal, is to work for the public at significantly what most would consider lesser funds available to her as a result of her earnings. I think you'd like Gloria Johnson, but there's no question the China needed to be broken. What an incredibly fascinating advertisement. How did you like that, Steve?
I saw
Break
it.
China.
I
You
saw
saw
it.
it.
I saw it.
Well, Marsha Blackburn is absolutely very close to President Trump. She's very, very close to some of the major senators who, if there are the flipping of approximately, potentially 4 seats, I think Marsha Blackburn will be pretty powerful, as well as our other United States senator. I think that they will.
All right, we again getting calls in. No, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here, which you love to do, but no no local numbers in Bradley County yet. So we are waiting on those. But the state, some of the state races, most of them actually, are now being called by the Associated Press, which of course is the standard when it comes to statewide races. Jimmy?
Statewide races. I picked one of these little pieces of paper up. I think you may have seen them, Shelton, where we're ranked #1 in election integrity across the nation. And I don't think that we have changed our method of voting processes rather dramatically at all. We've just done a good job over the years in Tennessee. Shelton, you've kept up with these political races for a long time. How long has it been since we had any question about the integrity of the elections in Tennessee? Can you remember any?
I really don't remember any in the last 20 years at least. We had the last presidential election, the last 2, both parties have thrown their arms up. Then we had the hanging chads in Florida,
Sure.
years past. Really, but in Tennessee, I can't remember.
Yeah, and the transition of power issues, when you mentioned the transition of power, and we talk about the Gore-Bush race, and when the Supreme Court ruled, there's not one person, I think, who would have thought that independent would have led the ticket in the largest Democrat county.
Sure.
And Bush came in second, and Al Gore came in third? What are you talking about? But yet, after the Supreme Court said stop counting, what did we do? We had an agreeable transfer of power. And my hope and prayer is that we know that it's going to be a new president in the United States, or it may be a former president who's the new president, and we'll see. But it's going to be fascinating. I think that the transition will be very, very calm this year.
All right.
That's my hope.
We are getting early voting numbers now in Bradley County, and here we go. Let's go to that Cleveland Board of Education race where now it's Renee Diamond leading Brittany Haynes by about 114 votes, 712 for Diamond, 598 for Haynes. This is early voting in Bradley County. Again, Diamond 712, Haynes 598. That's a 114 vote difference. Also, Bradley County early voting, Kevin Raper with a commanding lead. In early voting, the incumbent state representative at 15,530 for Raper, and it's Chase at 4,037. Also a commanding lead for Dan Howe in the state representative 22nd district. Howe with 11,717. These are early votes. And Anna Grabowski 1,736. Shelton, what do you make of these numbers?
Well, the Dan Howe race is almost identical to 2016 in numbers-wise and percentage-wise. As the Renee Diamond and Brittany Haynes race, wow, that one's close. That's what a close race and a great turnout there. 1,300 votes in that district. We can now call Dan Howe has definitely won and will remain in Nashville along with Kevin Raper. He'll be returning to Nashville as well. So that's two more of our local races that we've called. So we're really getting down. Chuck Fleshman has been called by the AP. So now we're just getting down, Steve, really to. We're waiting on Renee Diamond and we're waiting on and Brittany Haynes on the final results from today. It looks like early voting results. We get the final results from today, and our local, man, it's unbelievable. This may be a record day for us.
Well, and for that race, they have two precincts. It's the Museum Center at 5 points, and it's Lee University. So those are the two precincts in that school board, Cleveland Board of Education, Second District. Jimmy, what do you make of all this?
Well, I did think that was going to be maybe even a closer race than it is, and you're correct. Today's votes could change that. Mm-hmm. But the people I saw out campaigning at each of the precinct areas, it was Renee Diamond workers who were out there that day. There were still signs up, I noticed, along 25th Street, and there were supporters at the 25th Street intersection, as there's oftentimes there's a lot of campaigning doing as people pass by that intersection of 25th and Keith. But folks, I think that this race will be able to be called based upon the early voting percentages very, very quickly. There's no question about it. It's not going to be the kind of thing, Steve, that we're going to be here until 11:30
I wouldn't think so.
Or 12. I think we're going to be able to go home and turn on the television and watch the national events. I think that's going to be very interesting.
Going to be, as far as the national picture goes, a late night. So early voting came in very quickly, actually, just after 8 o'clock. The early voting came in. And all right, so we will do that again. Calls have been made. A lot of these were expected, statewide, district-wide. So that is where we are, Jimmy.
No question about it. But listen, I want us to all recognize, Steve, the very significant aspects of our involvement in local government. Local government's where it starts. Yeah. And where the decisions are truly made, which have the greatest of impact on our community. Folks, don't hesitate to be involved. If you had an old Democrat family member or something, don't hold that against yourself because being involved. Our city council is responsive to people's petitions before the city council, no matter their politics. And I truly believe that, even though I'd recognize that most of the city council people are Republicans, but I think that local government involvement is so important. Support county commissioners. Petition them and tell them what your view of any issue coming before the county commission is. That's what impacts us. And the school board, it impacts us if you will communicate with your school board members. No question about it. That's where we need to be involved, is right here in Bradley County.
Shelton, you got something else?
Now we're just sitting here waiting on different states. Illinois has went to Vice President Harris. Again, these I believe that we're still really waiting on a national standpoint. North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona. Really, you've got about 6 states that if you're looking to see who's going to be the next president, look to those states. I believe the rest of them are going to fall in line pretty close to what we thought going into tonight.
Here locally, we are waiting on basically, there's a couple of things tonight. We're waiting on the Cleveland Board of Education, 2nd District, and there's also that issue in Charleston about, I guess, liquor stores. Is that right?
That's correct. And the question is, if I can have a drink and buy me some liquor in Cleveland, Tennessee, why shouldn't I be able to do so in Charleston?
So that is, from what I understand, that's one precinct, Walker Valley. So we'll watch that. We're starting to, of course, we got the early totals in, and as we continue here this evening on Mix 104.1 and MixTV.tv, Well, let's take a 2-minute break. A 2-minute timeout. Back in 2 minutes.
Our legal system is complex, and your case may impact several areas of the law. Don't just hire a lawyer who focuses on one thing. Hire a team of experienced attorneys ready to handle your case wherever it may lead. Call Logan Thompson, one of the area's most respected law firms. From personal injury to criminal and family law, from contract disputes to disability, the team at Logan Thompson will work together to ensure you are well represented and well compensated. Logan Thompson, we fight to win.
Cleveland Tire is ready to help your auto any way it can. We're one of the largest providers of Goodyear brand tires in the area. We sell all major brand tires. We have ASE certified mechanics on staff 6 days a week. We also have a commercial truck tire center that provides 24-hour roadside service and minor mechanical repairs on site. We have built our reputation on years of quality, affordable work and tires. We pride ourselves in customer satisfaction and great service. Cleveland Tire Center.
Imagine a truck that doesn't just own the road, it dominates it. It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. And our new GMC Sierra is elevating every moment of that journey for me. It's not just a truck, it's a lifestyle. Don Ledford didn't just sell me a truck. They saw the lifestyle I wanted and they found me that truck.
For more than 50 years, Cleveland Plywood Company has been serving our community. They're dedicating to providing quality products with professional service to all of Cleveland and our surrounding area. They offer easy pickup or delivery on everything in stock. Cleveland Plywood carries every element of the building process, including windows, doors, truss, flooring materials, shingles, and of course, building lumber. Stop by and visit them, Cleveland Plywood. 2700 20th Street, Northeast in Cleveland, or call 472-3357. A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 1041, WCLE, and MixTV.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. 1041, MixTV.tv, our final election special of the year. As we go back to August with these, we did, March and August, and now November. As tonight is a federal and state general election. And we're on Mix 1041. We have results on our website, mymix1041.com. And let's scroll back through some of the results that we have thus far. The Associated Press has called the Senate race for Marsha Blackburn right now. She's carrying about 77%. You see there, 81% of the vote over Gloria Johnson, the state representative. And again, Blackburn also called is Chuck Fleischman tonight for the U.S. House Representatives District 3 over Jack Allen, the longtime banker. And you see the percentages right now, again, with about 12% of Tennessee and 88%.
Are these not Bradley County?
These are statewide.
These are statewide.
Well, this was district-wide in this case.
Okay.
So we are, of course, we have Bradley County early vote in, but we do not have day of as of right now. Also, early vote total. Austin, you want to go to that school board race, Cleveland Board of Education District 2, where Renee Diamond has a lead, 114 votes over Brittany Haynes. That means at Election Day voting will be very interesting. The two precincts of the museum and Lee University. Plus, the Associated Press has called the races for State Representative Dan Howell and State Representative Kevin Raper tonight.
Quickly, I know Jimmy's asked for the Bradley County only votes and percentages, so I'm going to run those down real quick. In the United States Senate, Marsha Blackburn in Bradley County alone got 79.6% of the vote. Gloria Johnson got 18.6%. In the U.S. House of Representatives District 3, Chuck Fleischman got 79.9% of the vote. Jack Allen got 17.55% of the vote. This is Bradley County only. In Bradley County State Senate District 2, Tom Hatcher got 88% of the vote. Patty Young with 11% of the vote. Dan Howe in District 22, State Rep, 87% of the vote. And then House of Representatives, District 24, Kevin Raper with 79% of the vote. But go back, the Charleston, City of Charleston liquor referendum. Right now, permit to sell is 183, not permit to sell 129. So that you can almost call that one the limited number of votes in Charleston. Looks like Charleston will permit liquor sales with that referendum. And then again, it's the City School Board District 2 for Cleveland City Schools. Renee Diamond, early voting, 712. Brittany Haynes, 598, and 8 write-ins.
But what I thought was fascinating is the percentages you gave for the Blackburn-Johnson race, very, very similar to the statewide reports at this point, as the same is true with reference to the other races. When you put the regional in, we use pretty consistent with the other counties in our state in terms of the early voting for certain. It is interesting, Steve. I was just thinking of the days when we used to have everybody have to drive to Chattanooga to get a half pint or pint or gallon, but and now they tell me that there are still some folks who do not get their liquor here at Riverstone, is that the name, or Alexa or Harry's or whatever it may be. So now they may go just to Charleston instead of having to run down to Chattanooga.
All right, so that is where we are right now, and now we will we'll wait and get the day of votes, election day voting, and again we had right at 47% vote early of all eligible voters in Bradley County. So let's take another break. Our first break here in the 8 o'clock hour, 8:23, as again, early voting in Bradley County has come in, and we are now looking for election day voting, and we'll get into all that coming up.
Steve, I've got the early day voting from Cleveland High School. I'll be able to total those figures up in just a moment, so we will have the today votes to be added to, Steve, these. And we've done this because when they leave the precinct, they have to post those results at the precinct level. So we've got some of those, and we'll be getting those to you in just a moment.
All right, let's take a break right here. Another 2 minutes back, Mix 1041, MixTV.tv in a moment.
I'm those fries you've been craving. I'm hot, and I'm steamy, and oh man, do I smell delicious. I'm calling your name. Oh, Doug. Doug. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, paying for these repairs may be tough to swallow. So get Allstate.
Call or visit the George Gray Allstate Insurance Office on Keith Street, 479-5431.
Ready?
If you want cool lawyers in Southeast Tennessee to represent you, it's Logan Thompson. We're cool and we get results.
All right, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cleveland and Bradley County, for supporting Vendor Realty for the last 55 years. More than ever, we are ready and prepared to help our community be home. The real estate market is changing and evolving, and the Vendor Realty family is ready to help navigate today's market by providing professional, knowledgeable, and resourceful advisors to help your dream of calling someplace home. For all things real estate, be home with Vendor Realty, 425 25th Street, 423-472-2173, vendor-realty.com.
Volunteer Rid-A-Pest makes it easy to have a pest-free home with their risk-free money-back guarantee. If you've seen one, you haven't seen them all. Let Volunteer Rid-A-Pest handle it, the best in the industry. Call Chattanooga's oldest and family-owned full-service pest control company today.
A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 1041, WCLE, and MixTV.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm. Back back to live action, as we'd say. Shelton, speaking of live action, we're on Mix 1041, mixtv.tv, and we are going to have a very special opportunity Friday night. For the first time ever, we will carry a football playoff game on mixtv.tv. Shelton, this Friday night, you and myself will be going up there.
Yeah, Walker Valley travels up the road to Lenoir City. First round of the TSSAA playoffs, and this will be our first opportunity to call a playoff game. And Steve, it's going to be pretty exciting. Lenoir City was gracious enough to let us come up after we got approval from the TSSAA. So Austin's going up tomorrow to kind of scout the facility out, so where we can set up, and it's going to be great to be able to call a Mustang postseason game. It's be exciting Friday night.
Tell all your friends you can watch the game, Walker Valley at Lenoir City. Of course, listen to it with the experts, Andy Morris and Jacob Mason. Shelton and I will have the TV call on mixtv.tv. Of course, Andy and Jacob, 99.1 FM, and on the Mix app all over the place.
You don't think people turn us down and listen to them?
Oh, no!
Like we used to do on CBS and listen
to John Ward or Bob Gessling?
Yeah.
Oh, no, surely not.
We don't call really.
Surely not. Oh, man.
I when you said that, I kind of hit me like.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do. They listen to Andy.
I really don't. I don't blame them actually. So,
Steve, let me remind folks that at your particular precinct where you have voted, the results of the various machines are posted right outside the door as they then transport that information down to the Election Commission office here. I've just scanned the E.L. Ross different machine reports, and it seems that each machine, the percentages are within 1% of each machine, much the same, and they are tracking the votes across the state with reference to our statewide races and our district races, and they have tracked the local races figures on the early voting. So it appears E.L. Ross is the largest precinct, voting precinct that we have, and the other precincts which I've looked at, including the university, they appear to be tracking exactly what we're talking about. Is Lee University one of the remaining?
Lee and the museum for the school board.
Yeah, well, I can give you you've got the results for the early voting, and I think,
all right.
No, I don't have that. I've got 3 precincts in, but they are not the precinct you're talking about.
All right, we are here again, really just waiting now, Shelton, on the school board race, because all of those other races that we were impacted locally have now been called.
Yeah, I mean, the only one left is now the District 2 City School Board race. We thought this would be the case coming into tonight. It would be the last one that we would be waiting on. Again, just a few, less than 200 votes separating. But I'm wondering how many votes are left. How many votes? There's so many people turned out early in Bradley County. I'm just wondering how many votes are left out there. For Brittany to win, Miss Haynes to win, and beat Renee Diamond today, she would need almost a 2-to-1 advantage.
That's correct.
With the few number of votes that are left in that district. Without any question.
No. Steve, I think it's important as we tell folks, and we've got people listening to know the local results, and we've given them those in the statewide vote races. It's important for everybody to remember that our communities in Upper East Tennessee and in North Carolina have gone through tragedies, and they are still in dire need now of money because they've got water stacked up, and they've got some other things that are stacked up. And I'm so pleased with the efforts of the local group known as Undertaker Productions.
Yes, that's right.
And we are having a fantastic event coming up to send money, which is what's needed for the people who don't have the money to buy the pieces of wood to rebuild or begin to rebuild their homes. And I'm so happy to be to know a guy like our local doctor,
Dr. Ed McIntyre.
Ed McIntyre, and what his group is putting together and the fundraising they're doing. And Steve, the other thing that I'm reminded of is the tremendous contributions which are made to the betterment of Bradley County school system and the City of Cleveland school systems, and their fundraising, which will take place at the annual banquet, and that's this week as well.
That's awesome.
And it's so important for people to be aware. If you don't know what you think you ought to do with reference to enhancement of education, to get together with the Bradley Cleveland Public Education Fund, that's an incredible opportunity. And the work which comes as a result of those funds makes available the greater good for our students and the learning capacity which they have.
Shelton, I think you've got a call for us, is that right?
Yes.
May want to check that out. I think we got something in just a moment ago as we were crunching some numbers back in the decision desk. So,
yeah, it looks like final tally, Renee Diamond 897, Brittany Haynes 759. So it held pretty steady there. So Renee Diamond will assume the seat of District 2 for the city school system there. Great contest between those two ladies. So Renee Diamond will move on. A lot of votes in that district for this, and I know it's presidential election cycle and it drives a lot of people. But yeah, Renee Diamond will move on. The Republican 897, Brittany Haynes 759.
well thought of lady when she was at Bradley County Schools, originally from Louisiana, came in here a couple of weeks ago and talked with us, gave us a great interview. And congratulations, Renee Diamond. Also, congratulations, Brittany Haynes. This is her first candidacy and first political experience. So I tell you, Jimmy, we may have a record here. It is 8:33, and we know what's happening.
We know the ultimate result. The figures, will total them up and have those available sometime. If I could get you to wake up in the morning.
Maybe.
Yeah, just maybe. No, but what a great time we have, and we do this because we want to be able to provide you, the public, the information that you need in order for you to make the decisions for yourself. Steve Hartline only dictates a few things that you should do, but he always ends up bringing a smile to our faces, and what a great voice for our community. Steve, thank you for everything that you do for our community and this radio station. We've got things coming up.
Yep.
Thanksgiving's going to be here.
Yep.
What happens the week after?
Oh, man, that Monday after, the Empty Stocking Fund. We're already making plans. We've got some big announcements about kickoff morning at Church of God headquarters. We're going to be doing some different things. So, but I tell you, our co-hosts, Jimmy, have both agreed. Matter of fact, just today, Dr. Paul Kahn and Danny Murray will join us that morning along with yourself and Brenda Lawson and so many of us.
Well,
don't forget Bridget. I guess she's already asleep.
Well, let me tell you, folks, our community is better because we pull together, knowing each other. And to a large extent, over the years, with your predecessor, a guy named Roland.
Somebody named Roland.
He's
watching.
He is watching. He'll be listening with his radio on as well. Mm-hmm. And Shelton, your contributions as they have grown over the years. I've been doing this since 1971, when odd number years were the time we elected our city council, our city commission, if you will, and the city school board races and things of that nature. And then we got wise and we said, let's conserve that expense to use for the betterment of our community. And we've been able to do that because of Steve, you, and before you, the people who brought radio, not the TV, but it's radio, and you can listen on your car as you learn more about this community as you go to work tomorrow morning, or you go to school tomorrow morning, and it's because WCLE provides that information and the opportunity. Thank
you, Jimmy. We'll have a recap tomorrow morning of what happened here tonight. Shelton, any final comment here?
I was going to echo what Jimmy said. Then he started saying nice stuff about you.
No,
not happening.
Besides that.
Yeah, no,
there's a guy in the room, Shelton, who has helped us for the last how many years? 5 years, 6 years, 7
Seven.
years. Hard to believe that
Tribulation's
he still looks that young, isn't it?
Josh Rogers, big help, and all of our crew tonight, our buddy Josh Laco, great job, Gideon, Austin, Ryan Felton, National Akiona, and of course, Madison's back there. I'm missing anybody?
Fruit Loops.
Well, I said Fruit Loops.
sorry.
He's, well, I said Austin, so anyway.
Yeah, nobody knows who
Nobody
he
knows
is.
who Austin is.
No.
All right, guys, that's it. So our local part is done. Mix 1041, mixtv.tv, and thank you so much to the Logan Thompson Law Firm, LoganThompsonLaw.com. Tomorrow morning, we'll have a full recap starting at 6 a.m. on Mix 1041 and mixtv.tv. For all of us at Mix 1041 and mixtv.tv, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
A 65-year tradition, election night coverage on Mix 1041, WCLE, and mixtv.tv. Presented by the Logan Thompson Law Firm.